US Vice-President JD Vance says the United States is working to schedule talks between Donald Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, but not before the Trump-Putin meeting on Friday in Alaska. Ukraine and Europe haven't been invited and are coming together later today for an emergency summit to discuss their next steps. Let's get more now from Europe Bureau Chief Mazoe Ford in London. Good morning to you, Mazoe. What's JD Vance been saying, especially about the significance of this upcoming meeting in Alaska?
Good morning, Bridget. Well, JD Vance said that the meeting in Alaska needs to happen first, that summit between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. However, he did say that a meeting between Presidents Trump, Putin and Zelenskyy would happen. He said it was really just down to scheduling now, indicating that people were looking at diaries to see where dates might work. So that is something positive for Ukraine to take away. Whether or not that changes over the course of the week, we will wait and see. But certainly Ukraine and Europe's position through all of this is that there should be no conversation about Ukraine without Ukraine. So they're not happy that they're being left out of this summit over in Alaska, but they are choosing their words carefully. Now, back to JD Vance, though, who is here in the UK. He's here with his family on holidays, but has also been meeting with the UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy and others about Ukraine. And he also made time for an interview with Fox News where he sat down and said, look, America and the US President Donald Trump are done with funding Ukraine's war business. They want to bring a peaceful settlement and get this thing done. But of course, Russia and Ukraine are just so far apart on what they're willing to agree to. So the US work is certainly cut out for them. Here's a little of what JD Vance said to Fox News.
If you take where the current line of contact between Russia and Ukraine is, we're going to try to find some negotiated settlement that the Ukrainians and the Russians can live with, where they can live in relative peace, where the killing stops. It's not going to make anybody super happy. Both the Russians and the Ukrainians probably at the end of the day are going to be unhappy with it. But I don't think you can actually sit down and have this negotiation absent the leadership of Donald J. Trump.
And Mazoe, we know neither Europe nor Ukraine have been invited to this Alaska summit. So how have they been responding to these talks?
Well, the EU's Foreign Policy Chief, Kaja Kallas, has called an emergency meeting for later today with all of the EU's foreign ministers. They will work out what the next steps are going to be. I would anticipate there'd be some kind of meeting this week to really show that unity in Europe and show that support for Ukraine. We also had that statement on Saturday from the leaders of the UK, France, Italy, Poland, Finland and the EU, really making sure that their support for Ukraine was very well known and that any conversation needs to involve Europe and Ukraine. And Volodymyr Zelenskyy has spent the weekend trying to phone as many of these allies as he can, speak to them to shore up their support and show everybody what is continuing to happen in Ukraine, highlight the issues for his country. Here is some of his nightly address.
We clearly understand the threats. All our partners understand the threats just as clearly. Everyone sees that there has been no real step from Russia toward peace, no action on the ground nor in the air that could save lives. That is why sanctions are needed, pressure is needed, strength is needed.
So we have a week of diplomacy ahead, meetings here in Europe, that big summit between Trump and Putin over in Alaska on Friday. But as all of this diplomacy plays out, Bridget, of course, the war rages on and Ukraine continues to need weapons. Some of those air defence systems that it's been requesting will be arriving very soon, though they're on their way. America said, look, we will supply them, but Europe needs to pay for them. Europe has begun to stump up the cash for that. So Ukraine very much hoping that diplomacy works, but not giving up militarily.